Hello friends, are you still very confused going to write a paper? आप अपना एग्जाम पेपर लिखने जा रहे हैं और अभी भी बहुत सारे डाउट्स हैं regarding how to make the choices, handwriting, neatness, cutting, sequence of attempting the questions, multicolor pen or underlining is necessary or not, how to begin the paper, what to attempt first, how to attempt the MCQ questions. I am going to clear all your doubts today. I'm going to tell you 22 tips and they are applicable to all the papers that you are going to attempt. आज मैं आपको 22 टिप्स दे रही हूँ जिससे आप अपने पेपर को बिल्कुल 100% श्योर शॉर्ट तरीके से अटेम्प्ट करेंगे. आपके सारे डाउट्स आज क्लियर हो जाएंगे. प्लीज़ वीडियो को लास्ट तक वॉच कीजिए एंड लेट्स बिगिन. नंबर 1, eat well. Your tummy should be full. It should just eat a nourishing diet. It should not be very heavy. And sleep well just before the exam. Visit the exam center a day before so that you don't have to panic in the last moment, right? Number 2, you get 15 minutes to read the paper, right? आपको 15 मिनट्स का टाइम मिलता है पेपर को रीड करने के लिए. आई वुड प्रेफर कि आप एक बहुत छोटी सी पेंसिल रखिए और हल्का हल्का सा सारे आंसर्स को मार्क कर लीजिए. अपने चॉइसेस उस टाइम पे करिए. एंड इफ दैट इज़ नॉट पॉसिबल, यू आर नॉट अलाउड टू टच द पेंसिल, okay, you have another option. At the back side of your pen or pencil, just try to mark in the paper which choices you are going to attempt. If there is any formula जो आप भूल जाते हैं बहुत जल्दी and you want to write it down, आप उसे भी लिख लीजिए, right? Next, make the choices very very wisely. Which of the choice to attempt, clear? And number 4, take a wooden scale with you, because all the plastic scales, you have to draw a margin that gives neatness also, as well as you always get a margin to do the rough work also if you draw it on the right side, right? In your answer sheet, just take a wooden scale, take a wristwatch along with you. Next, the sequence of attempting the questions. This is a very very important thing कि हम कौन सा क्वेश्चन पहले अटेम्प्ट करें, कौन सा बाद में अटेम्प्ट करें. एंड द आंसर इज, जो आंसर आपको सबसे अच्छा आता हो, you know which answer the most well, attempt that first. Maybe it is question number 8, doesn't really matter. You begin with the sequence of answers. आपको कौन सा सबसे बढ़िया आता है और 100% आपका ठीक होगा वो आंसर. Begin with that. That leaves a very good impact on the examiner also when he sits down to correct your answers. Next, try doing all the parts of the questions at one place. It should not be that A part आप एक जगह अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं, C part कहीं और बहुत नीचे अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं. कोशिश कीजिए कि पूरे सारे जितने भी A, B, C all parts हैं, they should be done at one place. If in case it is not possible, please mark the question number and the part number later on also if you are attempting it, right? Next, how to attempt the MCQ questions. Write the part number also along with the whole answer. If you are writing that third is the answer, so you write third as well as mention the answer also along with it if you are attempting the MCQ questions, right? If it is just a mark करने वाली sheet है तो it doesn't really matter. Otherwise, if you are writing in a pen paper, try to attempt it this way. Next, follow all the formats. If you are giving the English paper, CBSE recommended जितने भी formats हैं उनको notice, advertisement, everything, letter and all, सबके formats को बहुत अच्छी तरह से अपने दिमाग में रखिए. They should all be followed. Next, all these questions like notice, advertisement, letter, they should be attempted on one sheet itself. It should not be like कि नोटिस को आपने आधा यहाँ से शुरू किया और नीचे ख़त्म करने के बजाय आप नेक्स्ट वाले पेज पे उसको फिनिश कर रहे हैं. प्लीज़ डू नॉट मेक दैट मिस्टेक्स. ऑल द राइटिंग सेक्शन थिंग्स शुड बी स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम अ फ्रेश पेज and just give a slash with a pencil if in case a little bit of space is left, right? Next, number of point asked. If in case the examiner says, the question says, write 4 points regarding this, write it in points, number 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And a tip is, write 1 point extra, right? If 4 points are asked, इट इज़ क्वाइट पॉसिबल कि कोई दो पॉइंट्स मर्जिंग हो या आपका एक रॉन्ग हो उसमें से पॉइंट. डजेंट रियली मैटर इफ यू राइट वन मोर पॉइंट एक्स्ट्रा. अगर 4 पूछे हैं तो यू राइट 5 पॉइंट्स. नेक्स्ट, दिस इज अ ट्रिक that whatever number of points you need to write, please mention 1 point more than that, right? Now this is point number 11, that you need to draw all the diagrams, pencils, with a pencil only, and write all the formulas along with whatever you are solving. If it is maths, write all the formulas there itself. And in case you are drawing a poster or something, advertisement, display advertisement, then you need to do the things with a pencil. If you are making a box or you are drawing accounts, if you are drawing the lines, they should be done with a pencil. Next, the choice of questions. Again, it is a very important thing to choose the correct question. Right? Please do not waste your time in making the choice as to which question you should attempt out of these, right? Next, use one color pen only. And if you want to underline things or highlight things, it should be done with a pencil rather than using any other pen. One thing more, if you underline with a pen, maybe it is black or blue, the imprint can come on the back side of the paper also, which is not a good thing. So it's better to underline with a pencil, and the underlining thing or the highlighting thing should be done at the end of the paper when you have finished the whole paper. Right. Next, every long answer is not the summary of the chapter. Please make a point that when you just see the name of the chapter, you sit down to write the whole summary of the chapter. No, whatever is being asked by the examiner, need to write only that. Stick to it. Next, how to increase the length of your answer. Length does not matter, but yes, it matters a lot. If you have covered all the points of your answer, still the length is very short. If it is a long answer, मान लीजिए 5 marks का question है और आप इतना छोटा सा आंसर लिखते हैं, आपने सारे points उसमें add कर दिए, is good. But you need to at least see that the examiner should give 5 marks out of it, right? So please try to increase the length of the answer to that an extent, but stick to the time limit also. Next, leave spaces between two answers. Proper spaces should be left between two answers. They should not be merged. एकदम से ऐसा नहीं लगे कि आपने सारे answers को एक ही जगह पे लिख दिया, right? Next, if less spaces left, then it's better to begin with the next page. Use all the key points, vocabulary, keywords, everything should be used properly. Simple language is okay. You need not stuff your answers with very hi-fi vocabulary or some very difficult words or this. I mean, that sort of decoration is not necessary. Only simple language would do, very fine. But all the points of your answer should be covered very nicely into it. It doesn't really matter how long you write it. It should be written neatly, all points covered, because the marks are going to be given point-wise, right? Next, don't use abbreviations like as many students write dear ma'am, M-A apostrophe M, or they write can't, or they use sometimes they use SMS language also. So no short forms, please. No abbreviations at all. Next, maths, physics, chemistry, always write the formula, diagrams, equations, and they would be given separate marks. But yet the board says that only format or only formula will not fetch you any marks, right? Next, English, never write your answer in points. Right? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. It's not written this way. You always write in a paragraph. Firstly, secondly, maybe the examiner says, okay, mention 5 characteristics of this place or this person, right? So you will begin your answer firstly this, secondly this, moreover this, however this, but that should be written in a whole paragraph. It should not be number 1, number 2, number 3. Only English should not be written in points. Otherwise, for all the other subjects, you can use number 1, number 2 and point it out, right? Last but not the least, cutting, do it the least possible. Still, if you do the cutting, it should be with a pencil. Many a times you cut down the correct answer. ठीक है, आपने एक क्वेश्चन को अटेम्प्ट किया, देन आपने सोचा नहीं यार ये तो थोड़ा सा गलत लग रहा है, एंड आई विल अटेम्प्ट द सेकेंड चॉइस, एंड यू कट इट डाउन विद अ पेन, and then you start with the second को थोड़ा सा करने के बाद you feel like no यार the first one was a better choice and I should have done this. Now if you have cut it with a pen, what will you do with the second question? Again you'll have to attempt it. Otherwise, if you have cut it out with a pencil, you always have an eraser at hand. It's okay, right? Next, do the least cutting. Yes, handwriting does count, but not more than content. अगर आपका content बहुत अच्छा है तो handwriting से फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. Try to make it as neat as possible. But even if you do some cutting, if it is too much of cutting, don't do it in the zigzag crisscross manner. Just a simple line, and that is also fine. It looks better. And if there is too much excessive of cutting, just cross the whole answer, write it again. Please stick to the word limit while attempting the answers, and the time limit should be very clear in your mind. Best of luck for your exams.